My legacy. Ready?
Yeah,
Yeah. Remember back when Guy was getting 5th place on everything. Back when Kiwi was only good at soundboarding. Out of breath before we ever heard him talk. Back before we found out that his ass couldn't walk. Bertho, we can deke your ass out with our prospects. Tony, our team's so good that you know you can't stop this. We'll score so many goals that you can keep the extra. Bruce with the block and break it out, we playing Tetris. BG shot on Kiwi, BG shot, that would be a goal. Omaha will rip it, Crab will tip it, that's a goal. Drag will skate around your D and bar a DZ goal. I think of all Chicago's, this might be the greatest goal. My backhand just went by you. Forehand, now we're already up by 2. It should have been us in New York in the finals though. It's levels to what you and I know. Guy, be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Otto, sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Kiwi, sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Who that dude thinking that he's scoring on Danny? Get the fuck off the ice before I set admin. Get the fuck off my TS, that ain't right. Shy will make a play that fucks up your whole life. I'm so fucking sick and tired of the auto talk. Once we finish this, the community will be in so much shock. Show me something different than the same fucking ground shot. Show me something different than shooting from the same spot. Hey, this shit way too easy. Hey, you do not amaze me. Hey, we blew through NYC. Hey, Keller, just stop poking me. I don't fabricate it. Hey, you will all be shaking. Hey, we stay modest about it. Hey, then elaborate it. Hey, this that Kill Squad, this that 2 Chainz, this that shit Hawks. Hey, watch my team speak, then let the memes talk. Hey, when we beat you guys, it won't be Cryptic's fault. You're the 3rd best team after all, bitch. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Tony, sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Sit down. Be humble. Bertha, sit down. Be humble. Sit down.
And we're here. LHL Season 14 Finals. We got Chicago, we got Calgary, we got Dial, we got Dalfan. It's the crew.
We do.
How's it going, Dalf?
It's good.
Coming off some spicy scrims for Chicago.
Yeah, they kind of impressed me. I don't know. They
You
annoyed
think
me.
they annoyed you, huh?
Yeah, they were a bit pesty, or what's the, you know,
I think I know where you're going with that. Yeah.
they were
I get you.
frustrating team. They ate up a lot of rebounds and a lot of loose pucks in the neutral zone.
Difficult to play against. See if the boys on Calgary can deal with it. But we'll take a quick look before we really get into the specific matchup. Talk real quick about how both teams got here. So Chicago coming in as the 3rd seed. They were in a series against New York. They were able to beat New York in 6 games, overcoming even more lineup inconsistency than they had during the regular season. Feels like every game for Chicago, there's a different set of force skaters out there. But the big player to highlight from their first series was definitely Crab. Carried the offense with 11 points, 5 goals, 6 assists, leading his team in both categories. They had Juice coming in because Drag wasn't there for games 5 through 7. So Juice stepped in and played offense and played very well. He got 5 points in those 2 games. Some big goals as well as a game winner, I think, in game 5. It was game 5, and I think BG got the game winner in game 6. But Chicago much better at converting their chances in the postseason than they were in the regular season, but not quite as good at generating them. Their shots per game is a little bit down. They were up near, I think it's about 7.7 during the regular season, and they're down now to only about 7.1, 7.2 here in the postseason so far. So definitely not generating quite as much as they're used to. Although that said, New York did feature one of the best defenseman candidates in Marchie, so definitely something to be said about that in terms of shot suppression. But even more impressively, really, is Chicago's defenses. They held DMB and the New York offense completely in check, with just allowing 1.8 goals per game and 4.8 shots per game, which is really, really, really impressive, especially against the team that was able to put together a 15-game winning streak at one point during the regular season. DMB, as you know, Delph, one of the better players in the game, so being able to hold him out of it is huge. And I think he wound up with, I think it was 7 points, and 4 of them came in game 6. So they really shut him down for almost the entire series. However, I was a little concerned with some of their play, which I don't think they're going to be able to get away with against Calgary. They were kind of passive in a lot of situations, especially once they got into the offensive zone. Very repetitive with the things they like to do, and I think if Calgary keys in on that, that's going to be a big problem for them. As the Calgary defensemen are at least pretty aware for what they maybe lack in defensive experience. They make up for with just natural game intelligence. And I really do think if they start to key in on that, Chicago's going to have a really hard time generating shots on net. On the flip side of the coin, we got Calgary, who looking like the 17-3 team that they came into the playoffs as. Almost all their stats pretty much exactly the same as they were in the regular season. Just utterly dominating Vegas in what was a 4-game sweep. I know, Delph, we casted some of the games, and early on in those games, periods 1 and 2, felt like the games were kind of close. Vegas was able to stay in it, and then it gets to the third period, and for whatever reason, as soon as that third period comes around, it's like a switch is completely flipped on in Calgary, and they just put the pedal to the metal and just grind out 3 or 4 goals and put the game away. Not really sure why they play that way, but that just seems to be the way that it works. Otto and Guy continued to be dominant. The team dropped almost 12 shots a game in those 4 games in the semifinals, so just an insane amount of pressure, and it was really, honestly, just too much for Vegas to deal with. They really weren't able to get stuff going offensively because they didn't have the puck most of the time. They managed only 5.5 shots per game against the Calgary defense, and that actually says a lot about Calgary's ability to possess the puck and just play keep away to an extent, especially with Otto, somebody we know does that very well, right? So, but relatively speaking, for Vegas, they tried to make it difficult on them. They did as much as they could, and PK and K-Bomb performed better than most goalies do against Calgary. So there's some positives there, but Calgary proved that even against some better than average goaltending, they really were able to still put up like 5-6 goals a game and just make sure they were winning these. Especially, I think Game 4 was a very high scoring affair, if I remember correctly. Uh, but Calgary also showed some weaknesses against specifically individual talented players. So the one I'm sort of keying in on was Self-Plug. In that series, we saw Self-Plug, especially in Game 4, was really able to take advantage of some of the defensive inexperience of Tony and Bertha. That defense plays really well against passing situations, but neither of them have really played enough defense to be confident in stopping somebody in a one-on-one. And that's something that Self-Plug was able to sort of exploit and take advantage of in that series. However, Self-Plug really didn't convert enough, but he did manage to generate opportunities for himself based on that. And I really think that's going to be one of the keys for the Calgary, or I'm sorry, for the Chicago forwards coming into this, is those individual plays, those make one guy miss so that you have a cleaner opportunity. Problem is that really doesn't play into Chicago's core strengths, as most of their players are much more team play oriented. So the addition of Drag here, having him for these 2 games, at least for these 2 games anyway, we'll see what his work schedule is later in the series, is going to prove really big for them, as he's the type of player who can make a guy miss, break some ankles and give himself a better opportunity. And that's definitely something that Chicago is going to need to key in on in order to get some quality offensive chances. So, I mean, Delph, you've played with Drag, you know him well. I mean, do you think he's going to be able to exploit some of the defensive lapses that we might see from Calgary?
Well, Drag's improved a lot in the past couple seasons. He's gone from a player who kind of would try to do too much occasionally with the puck, try and make the extra move, to a guy that's able to capitalize, sometimes even able to make the extra move. And so he's definitely going to be someone to key in on. he only scored 3 points so far because of his absences. Oddly enough, Juice actually outscored him, so that's kind of interesting. If he struggles, I'm curious if that might be an option to put Juice in if they go down, say 2-0 or 3-0 in the series. But ultimately, I think Drag it will be the way to go, and I think he's going to be able to create chances against what I consider a slightly. If I had to pick a weak spot in Calgary, it would probably be their decor. Um, and it's going to be up to the forwards in Otto and Guy to come back down low. But I think sometimes they can kind of swarm the puck. And one thing that I'm really curious, and I think it's going to be important um, for Calgary, is how they respond to a bit of adversity, because they were Chicago. This is one of the teams that did hand them one of their 3 losses in the regular season. Granted, they did beat them 3 times, but they were able. That includes one of their losses, and they didn't lose a
Yeah.
lot, and they haven't lost. And I don't know when the last time they did lose, but especially in the
I think it was in the
playoffs.
final week of the season they lost the game there.
Yeah, so you've got a bit of inexperience with Guy. This is his second time in the playoffs, and you got Otto, who's, in all honesty, kind of struggled to get over that hump. Not exactly a guy that's been lifting the cup every other year, um, and so it will be interesting to see if Chicago gets out to a lead, or a lead in the series will be very scary for Calgary, especially just because they are pretty. I don't want to call them rookie, but um, I mean, they're very talented, and they should be able to dominate in zone. Just the stuff that they were doing against Vegas was very hard to shut down. I'm not sure that Omaha and BG are going to be up to the task of shutting that down. In if you've got it below the goal line and they get a quick turn and cut into the slot, um, going to be tough because we know drag likes to float in the neutral zone sometimes, and so if it gets caught down low, it'll be really interesting to see how their forwards react to that.
For sure, for sure. And you touched a bit on the sort of the experience and the mentality like aspect of it as well. And I don't think that's something that enough people consider, especially in the playoffs and when you get to the finals, right? I mean, this is the ultimate stage of HQM at this point in time, right? The LHL finals. That's where you want to be. That's what you've been working towards. For somebody like Guy, he's been waiting for this for 6 seasons now for his chance. Somebody like Otto hasn't won the cup since season 2. So it's been 12 seasons for him coming back here, and it's not easy to just come in and play and be able to play with the same confidence. You've sort of got that pressure, that extra element to it in the back of your mind, and that can be really hard to get over for a lot of people. And that's why we see sometimes teams get upset, right? I mean, there are really good teams that wind up coming out and not playing as well. They come out a little bit flat. And a lot of that comes down to the mentality and the lack of confidence that they may have. And that sort of gives you a window of opportunity for the underdog. And speaking of the underdog here, we've got Chicago, right? And you mentioned Chicago, it was one of the only teams that actually beat Calgary during the regular season. I think the 3 teams to do that were New York twice and Chicago once. If I remember correctly. You might have to double check me on that. But so, I mean, that's a pretty big achievement. And, it doesn't sound like, oh, they only beat him once, right? It doesn't sound like it'd be that big of an achievement. But when you only lose 3 times, to be one of those 3 losses is pretty big. And this series, as you can see up on the screen right now, was actually really close between these 2 teams. The first 3 matchups were, or sorry, really all 4 of them, right? Even though the last one was a pretty high scoring affair. All 4 matchups were a goal differential of 1 or 2 goals. So Calgary did win 3 of the games, but only by a goal differential of +4, which is not huge. And if you look at the head-to-head series stats, you can see that Calgary offensively had a much, much harder time against this Chicago team than just about any other team in the league. Calgary averaged 4.65 goals a game and 9.4 shots a game in the regular season, but in the Chicago series, they only gave up 2.75 goals per game and 7.75 shots per game. So a difference of almost 2 shots a game and almost 2 goals a game, too, for both of these teams, which is really big when you consider just the sample size of that, right? I mean, you're talking, 2 shots, 2 goals might not sound like a lot, but when you're only getting 4 a game, 2 goals is half of your offensive production. So
Yeah.
they've been really, really strong against them. And one more comment I want to point out along the same lines before we get into it, as the players have joined the server here now, is that Otto, you'll notice, only had 5 points in the 4 games that they played against each other here. So definitely something that Chicago has done well is limiting Otto's ability to be effective in the offensive zone. And a big part of that has been Goose, who is statistically the best goalie in the regular season against Chicago. One of the only goalies to be above 60%. He had a 64% save rate. As I say that, we're in the game, so I'll turn it over to you, Delph, and we'll get going.
As the puck drops, Chicago's going to get a quick possession here. He's going to send it up to Drag, but it will go too far, and Tony Flo will be there to retrieve it. He's going to be looking to find a breakout pass. Going to go same boards, and BG is pinching in on him. He's able to get it down and deep for Otto to forecheck. Will glide past the goaltender of Goose, waiting in his net. He's going to have maybe a challenge here as the wrap comes in, but a great effort as BG backchecks hard to get there and get his stick in the lane to block that through. Now he's going to send it around to Omaha. Omaha is able to grab it, and now he's going to look to headman it, but pushes it a little bit too far, and now it will go the other way as Tony Flo steals and then sends it across for Otto, but just a little bit too far from him. It's going to go into the corner. BG being forechecked now by Otto, reverses it. Good play, and now Drag's going to have to turn around to grab this one, but he can't get it through, and Otto tips it, but it will go into the corner again. Omaha sends it up the board, but he double hits it, and it's actually going to work out fortuitously for him, and now he's going to take it around the net. We're all going to be looking to send a backhand up the ice, knifed there by Drag across, and now Crab looking to find this at the half boards, but goes up to Guy Lafleur. Omaha sends it back in now, and it's going to go behind the net for Kiwi to paw at it a little bit. He sends it around. A little bit of miscommunication is now Chicago's going to get a chance. He sends it across high slot, but grabbing that is Tony Flo, and now he's looking to go the other way on a 2-on-2. He sends it on net. This one needs to be saved, but it is a good save there by Goose. He looks ready to play tonight.
Good save and a great shot, too, by Tony. Great way to open up the game with a solid offensive chance here. I feel like the first goal in this game is going to be huge in terms of dictating the momentum of the game. And like you spoke about in the pregame, how well does Calgary handle adversity, right? If that's Chicago on the other side and Chicago is able to score, how well is Calgary able to play from behind? Because it's really not something they did for the entirety of the regular season.
Absolutely, as Goose makes his second save of the game on Otto, a long shot. This one's going to go back in, and BG's being forechecked heavily, so he needs to send it around. He does, but this one's kind of tough to grab off the boards for Crab, but intercepted and then blocked by Crab again, I believe. And now Drag sends it up for BG, who's the defenseman going up now. Drag with it. It's a very loose puck, just a plethora of sticks in the neutral zone. It's going to go into the corner for Tony. Sends it up to Bertha. Bertha ready for this one, sends it across, and Guy Lafleur is going to find himself in acres of space in the offensive zone, but he's going to have to take a backhand or find a pass. Takes the backhand, and that one is saved by Goose. Another
I
shot
think you
on.
would have liked to see him pass that back there to Tony along the boards, actually. Tony found himself an opening there, would have given him a little bit more time to potentially extend the play or get a bit of a cleaner shot on net. So as Calgary gets another offensive chance there. But yeah, something that I don't think Calgary has done well enough all season long is utilize their forwards on the point, which is one of the biggest benefits of having forwards on the point and not defensemen, people that are generally a little bit more sure-handed with the puck and better at getting shots in from that area.
Yeah, and as you were talking, man, that tremendous redirection, but again, saved by Goose. I think he's up to 4 or 5 saves already, and Kiwi hasn't really touched the puck much. But here's the forecheck. He's broken the F1, and now Otto's carrying. He's got Crab to beat, which he does. Now he's being hedged, but he's still got a shot at the point. He's going to take it, but wow, good play there by BG to eliminate that opportunity. This one's going to go into the slot, but blocked again. And now he's got a 3-on-2 going the other way. One crash in the net, but the shot is just off as it rolls off BG's stick. He's got a centering pass, but that one is again blocked by Calgary. And that one will go up for Guy Lafleur, but it handcuffs him, and now it's got a backhand opportunity for BG. Sends it over the cage.
You can
Omaha
definitely
again.
see the sort of the emotion. Sorry to cut you
Oh,
off there as Drag scores on the redirection.
in zone play goes back and forth, and Drag tips a shot from Omaha right through the 5-hole of Kiwi.
And this is what we were talking about, right? And now they're playing from the back foot. How differently does this change things? I mean, now there's extra pressure, especially on, we spoke about the inexperienced defensemen on Calgary. Extra pressure on guys like Bertha and Tony now to be able to lock it down and keep this a close game so their forwards can get them back into it. Are they going to make more mistakes now because of the added pressure of this situation?
and exactly the confidence booster that Drag needed to get started in this series after a quiet first round. But here's Omaha. He's going to take another shot. He's got Drag at the net mouth for a tip, but no such luck there that time. And it's going to turn hands for Tony Flo now in the neutral zone. He's got one man to beat, and he beats him now. It's almost a 2-on-0, but just grounded and easily saved away by Goose, who's had a tremendous first period. But there's going to be one more try here in this period as it goes up, but cleared around by BG, who had a hell of a first period, and now he's headbanging. He's happy with his team's performance.
Definitely see the anxiety in these players. I was going to say it as Drag actually scored there, but you can definitely see it in the way that they're playing, where we're not used to seeing these players do things like shoot it on the ice and not get a really great shot, or miss the net entirely, right? Or hit it a little too far away from themselves. That's where you see these little tiny moments of hesitation and that extra pressure that's added in there that really does make a big impact.
Here's a shot on his. Goose is not getting any breaks so far. I think he 6 or 7 saves, but here's another chance, and Guy, Guy Lafleur just steals it right out from the nose of, I believe that was BG, and pots it for the equalizer here. And now he's back for more. Otto is going to take a cross ice pass to Guy, but body there, and now should see this game even out a little bit as it goes into the corner. A try from the corner, sends it across. They do have possession in the zone, so we'll see what they can generate here. Taking it behind the net is Otto, but will be stepped in on by BG, and he's ready to break out, go the other way. Move there by Drag, and he's got Crab on the back door. 2-on-1. He takes the shot and saved by Kiwi. That one was headed right for the top bar. I think it was going bar down, if anything. But
That was a great play by Drag. Oh my
oh,
goodness.
here's Otto back,
Oh!
and to clear that puck is tremendous from Goose. That's a hell of a play, and now Drag's in alone. He's got one man. He makes the move on him, but it just slows him down far enough. Now he'll take the shot, but it will be saved.
We've had some tremendous offensive explosion here the last couple of seconds, last 30 seconds or so. Starting off with a great play by Drag. Would have been fantastic to be able to get that goal and put his team back up one goal after that mistake in the defensive zone. But
Big
unfortunately, not able to convert here.
Sorry, Bertha there redirected a puck onto his own net, but Kiwi bailed him out, made sure that there was no OGs in this game. Behind the net, now stolen again from Omaha, but it will go up and down all the way down the ice for icing.
Definitely one of the strengths for this Calgary team is their ability to forecheck really well. Guy and Otto really good at getting in there and causing a lot of disruption, forcing you to make plays before you're ready to. And we've seen the benefits of that already as Guy was able to tie the game off of a play just like that.
Drag tips this one into the middle. Crab steals it. Now he's got Drag on the back foot, and he's going to probably use him. Actually, he's going to take the shot, and that one is saved by Kiwi. Kiwi looking good so far, beyond that one tip goal that he really didn't have much of a chance on. Here's Otto sending it up ice. He's got an option all the way down. Does find him, but it's going to go into the corner. He's got Tony Flo on the opposite point, or he can just hammer it onto the net, but alert is Goose, ready to make that one save. And now BG has his F1 bodied, and so he's going to have a little bit of a head start. Takes the long shot, but it will be blocked and sent back kind of towards him, and now it's going to actually go the other way. It's a great pass from Guy Lafleur. Otto's in. He's got a lane to kind of tries to make it around, but just enough on the D is able to break it up. And
that was a great display of how to play a man with two defensemen, how to make sure that you're both covering off different angles so that if he tries to go one way to get away from one of you, he's deking into the other one. That is a perfect textbook display of how to play defense with two guys on one.
BG now sends it up accidentally, maybe kind of, but he's got his man and the almost tip, but Goose finds it. Sorry, Kiwi finds it and makes the save. Now Guy Lafleur looking for Otto. He's in past the blue line, tips it onto the net a little bit too far for him. So Goose will play that one down. Now looking for it is Crab somehow, or sorry, Otto somehow snatches that one. But
the body by Omaha there to make sure Otto can't get into open space. Little plays like that, but those are the plays that keep this game close.
Omaha now is able to be in the right spot at the right time. It's going to send it up now across, Drag. It's got Crab again, probably, but he just elects to take it and dump it in, so it will go all the way down. Now Tony at the half boards hits the forechecker's stick and intercepted by Drag. Drag sends it off the post right off the outside of the left post. You can still hear that one ringing. Is now, you thought BG was going to shoot it. He doesn't. And that one's actually turned over now. Otto, he's got Omaha to beat. Past the blue line, he beats Omaha. He's got it on the backhand. He's going to take it, and he hits it right off the
Oh my
post.
goodness!
He had so much, he had the whole net to shoot at. It just got caught on his backhand. But now he's again on his backhand. He's got to score this time, and he does. And I'm assuming Omaha is having a lag spike because he froze, and that one hurts. But it is Calgary taking advantage.
Sounds like we're dealing with some lag issues, which would make sense. I mean, we saw Omaha just not be able to do anything there. It looks like both teams are complaining about it. So we'll see when we can get this game back underway.
Yeah, and you've got to think, got to wonder how much of I mean, that goal happened because of the lag. It was obvious half the players weren't even moving. So there is going to be an argument on whether or not, yeah, it seems reasonable to have that called back, but really that's not in the rule book, so it won't happen.
Yeah, there aren't any rules specifically for situations like this where the servers are laggy, so we'll have to see what comes of that.
Was your ping high when that happened?
I did not check. I don't have UH right now,
Oh,
so
okay. Mine was good, but you could see Guy was struggling. Like half of Chicago's roster at least was struggling, and only BG was defending, I think, as far as I could tell, and Crab. So I wonder if that's why he hit the post as well. But here we have another face-off.
it would certainly make sense because the entire play just looked sloppy, right? I mean, especially with Omaha definitely not being able to move. I mean, we saw him not react at all to Otto coming by him, so that makes sense. And then Otto, I was going to chalk it up to nerves, but as soon as they started talking about the ping, that would make sense. Otto does naturally play with, I think, like 80 or 90 ping too, coming from the West Coast, so I can only imagine that that does cause issues for him.
Absolutely. BG hammers that one towards the net. It's going to get tipped, and they'll just send it all the way down for Otto to forecheck. BG retrieving this one. Will chase it into the corner, but he's only got 5 seconds to make a play here. He might just collect it in the corner and just make sure that one is safe. Tough break for Chicago. You have to think they're playing so good and just minor mistakes, and that goal, especially if that one goes down as a game winner, not exactly what you want to see.
Well, it'll
But
be interesting to see what happens as a result of that. I mean, the BOC does have the power to take away goals like that if they see fit, but obviously all three BOC members are on these two teams, two of them being on the Calgary team, so there'd definitely be a discussion there to have. If you're Calgary, you want to win by more than one goal just to make sure that that's not the reason why you win, so there's no sort of controversy with this game. But a great block by Guy, and he's got a chance. And he
yeah.
scores.
BG trying to dangle in a phone booth, and he gets caught trying to force that long shot. And that's what we talked about. The forecheck from Calgary is just absolutely insurmounting. They're so good at getting in on you and frustrating you as a defenseman. And here he is again. Gallifrey's got another bad angle shot. He's going to take it, and he scores again for the hat trick. Wow. Utter
What a
collapse from
play.
Chicago, who's playing so good. Face-off goals and turnovers are costing them right now 3 out of 4 of their goals, and the other goal was a lag issue. So that one really
And
hurts.
interestingly, keeping up with how it was in the regular season, Guy was actually the leading point getter in this series. Guy with 6 points in the 4 games to Otto's 5. And here in this game, it is again, we see Guy who's sort of taking the reins here. Otto's only got a point, whereas Guy's already got a hat trick. So he seems ready, despite this being his first true finals as a starter.
Absolutely. Now sending it up. Califor is going to be on the attack again here. He's got this shot, but it might get blocked. He sends it wide off the far by the far post. This one's going towards the net behind the cage now, and BG needs to make something happen for his team as they are down by 3 goals. He sends it up, down, all the way the ice, all the way down the ice, and Tony Flo will collect it in the corner. It goes by the attempted receive of Chicago, but it is still in the corner, and it looks like they might come up with possession with Omaha pinching down, but he does go around him. Otto trying to make something happen, but he really needs to get rid of that puck with the 3-goal lead. You don't need to take risks like that. And here's Omaha or Drag trying to make something happen in the corner, bops it to his teammate, trying to find a lane to shoot, but there's absolutely nothing. Great defense by Calgary, and now they're going to go the other way, but broken up by 3 different players. Guy LaFleur
Despite
now
this
takes a shot, save.
a shot. Despite this being a 3-goal lead, I definitely think there is going to be some discussion about whether or not that goal turned the momentum in this game. I wouldn't say that Chicago was necessarily dominating or even leading in momentum at that point in time, but definitely a huge swing in confidence, allowing Calgary to go for something like that, for a guy to be really aggressive on the forecheck and create a play like that when he knows that he's already up by a goal, right? As opposed to it being a tie game or down one even.
Absolutely. We've just seen Calgary explode so far with confidence and with goals. Omaha's going to be trying to battle at this one. He gets a piece of it, but it's going to go across for Otto to battle with. Otto in the corner, but does get reversed. But it's going to go to the point for Bertha to hammer one, and that's
Oh,
exactly what he
nice
does. But
block.
great block.
It was
Otto in the
BG got a
corner.
stick in there on that. That was an excellent job by him.
Oh, he kind of Chicago kind of handed it to Calgary, who just took a hell of a shot, but it goes off the post. Now going the other way is Draghi, puts a shot on, but Kiwi ready and waiting for that one to come in. Now it's going to be turned over to BG, but Omaha will clutch it instead as BG kind of loses his footing. He's just going to elect to provide some interference for his partner as his partner sends it around back to him, who sends it back to himself. And now he's going to look to headman this next to the cage as he's probably just going to send this all the way down. He's got drag a little bit open, but he just tips it into the corner. We've seen that a lot so far this game. Not able to connect on these breakout passes is Chicago.
Yeah, which is unlike them. I mean, that is one of their strong suits as a team during the regular season. And I mean, they might tell you something different. They might not have been as confident with it as we might be watching them, but just be oh, what a block. But just because they didn't feel like they were great at it doesn't mean, relatively speaking, compared to the rest of the LHL, it wasn't a strength of theirs. And with somebody like BG, who is very good at those breakout passes, it is something that you'd expect them to be better on. But you got to chalk up some of the credit too to that forecheck of Calgary just being so disruptive, always being in the face of guys like Omaha and BG and really preventing them from being able to get clean opportunities away.
Absolutely, and frustrating night for Goose, who played very well, but it's going to be really hard for them to get 3 goals past Kiwi playing how he is right now. As this one's going to go all the way down the ice, and Calgary will love that as that just eats up another 20 seconds. Bertha ready to collect this one, and he'll probably just reverse it because they can just take their time. F2's got to come in to force this one to go all the way down the ice. And uh, Guy battling for it, and this is going to be their last opportunity for the most part. It's going to be really hard for them to tie this game.
Be nice for
Um,
them to get another one just for sort of the confidence sake, right? Be able to bring it within two, continue to play well. Because, like you mentioned, it didn't feel like they played poorly necessarily, but Guy and Otto did a fantastic job, especially Guy, of creating those opportunities for himself off of not even mistakes, but forced mistakes on the forecheck in the defensive zone for Chicago, and that proved to be the difference in this game.
the late opportunity for drag as he tries to hammer it in, but it doesn't go. And I think in some ways Chicago can be kind of happy about that because it wasn't like they were simply overpowered. It's not like Calgary was just so much better for them, better than them. Chicago really handed them the game on mistakes and breakdowns. And that's something that if you're a GM, you can look at that and you can say, we need to correct this. We can't, if we want to beat Calgary, we can't make those mistakes. And then that's something actionable that your team believes they can win. They don't make those mistakes, and if they play like they did in the first period, then they've got a 50-50 chance to win. But when you give them free pucks like BG did, um, and I'm not sure who was responsible for the turnover behind the net, but you see 2 goals on the backs of defensive turnovers. Not what
And again,
it's going to be
not
really hard to.
necessarily mistakes on their end. It was really that both times it was Guy. Guy came in and forced the mistake out of them. It wasn't like they fucked up and Guy took advantage of it. It was Guy made that play happen, which is something that you got to give him a lot of credit for. Not a lot of people can do that consistently, especially against somebody like BG, one of the better defensemen in the LHL, right? Being able to force him to make bad mistakes or misplays like that is definitely something that is or was the difference in this game, really. And I mean, you look at it from Chicago's perspective, right? You said this is something that isn't necessarily a terrible thing for them, right? Like, it's very obvious what went wrong. They did a fantastic job of what was probably their number one goal, shutting down Otto, right? I mean, I think that's fair to say that's probably what they came into this game thinking. Shut down Otto, we can win the game. They did a good job of that. Otto only got one goal off of that lag situation that he or the whole game sort of ran into. And the only other really good opportunity that Otto had, he hit off the post, which was right before he scored. So you can argue that they limited him to really one, maybe two quality scoring chances, and that is perfect. That is the way you're going to win this series. But what they just didn't account for was Guy's ability next to him to take advantage of that extra space that is created from all that pressure, all that focus on Otto. And Guy did a fantastic job that game. Definitely the MVP in my mind of that first game, anyway, of being able to turn that in Calgary's favor, especially when they were down by a goal and to put them ahead.
I
So
agree with you. Sorry.
definitely,
Um,
definitely a continuation of the regular season. Really, very similar to what we saw. Kiwi playing pretty well, Goose playing well. Unfortunately, can't get the win, and then Otto not really finding his footing as well, but Guy managing to pick up the slack alongside of him.
I think next game we're going to see a little bit of a shorter leash for BG. He's going to be looking to just kind of get rid of pucks and see what he can create based on just a trading possession game. We saw both teams. We've been doing it for way too many seasons now, but just kind of sending pucks deep and then figuring out what happens after it goes into the corner, goes into the opposite corner. You send it, send it, send it, send it, and just see what bounces in your favor. And I feel like that's how Chicago needs to play if they want to have the best chance to to find a win tonight. Simply because the forecheck from Calgary is so strong, and they're just going to capitalize on you if you make any extra move in your zone. So, um, but I do think they have a really good chance if they just keep it really simple.
So I'm seeing that there are a lot of Chicago backups here, and as we know, Chicago had a really inconsistent lineup during the regular season. The one game they actually won against this team actually featured Bo on defense alongside of BG, interestingly enough. Do you think that we're going to see any lineup changes, especially let's say Calgary goes up 1-0, 2-0 after the first period? Do you think Chicago is going to go to somebody like Juice, who performed really well last series?
I don't. I have a hard time saying that they're going to sub drag out.
Well, not
If he
just drag. I
goes,
mean, it could be Omaha too that
I know,
comes
I
out
know.
if they're trying to get more offensive, right?
I think if drag maybe goes scoreless in this next game, it'll be kind of an option. And there'll be kind of consideration, especially if they're down. I don't know if we'll see it in this game. They'll probably keep the same lineup all the way through, regardless of the score, in my opinion, knowing Crab. But next two games, if they go down 3-0, you could see Juice probably play some minutes, no doubt about that. Um, and Omaha, I don't think we'll see him come out simply because he had that assist on their lone goal. He played generally well, got caught on a lag, but really, he didn't really make any mistakes. And I don't know that they have a better option like Juice um,
Yeah, and I
on
don't
D.
mean to say that either Omaha or Drag deserve to be benched. I don't want to belittle them or say that they played poorly or anything like that. That really wasn't the intention of my discussion. I was just thinking you add an extra level and a different style of play if you get somebody like Juice in, and whether that's replacing Drag to get a different offensive flow going, or whether that's replacing Omaha in hopes that you get maybe a little bit more consistent breakouts, somebody who's a bit more confident holding the puck, as Juice is really naturally a forward, right? So that's something he'd excel at. But it looks like they have the same lineup for this game, and we're about to get into it.
Absolutely. The puck is literally about to drop, and there it is. Face-off win off the bat by Calgary, and Otto's going to look to score early, but it goes off the top of the crossbar. So really not as dangerous as it might have looked. But this one is spinning towards the net, deflected the wrong way by Guy Lafleur, I believe. And now Omaha going to get something going for his team as he actually finds himself as acres of space, takes a backhand, and that one will have to be saved. And that's not an easy save for Kiwi as he has to find it and swing across like a baseball swinger.
I
Now,
think that was
Crab,
actually a little wide, but still a good shot from Omaha. You got the height on it, right? And those backhands, little bit tough, to be honest.
Crab,
Little tough to get them
yeah,
accurately on the net, as you know, playing lefty.
Crab works it back to the point, but Omaha fans on his point shot. Now a battle as Omaha's going to get a second opportunity at it, and he won't make he'll make a better shot, but still wide. Unfortunately, that one's going to go through the legs of Otto and all the way down. And BG will look to collect this one and see what he can
Gotta
make
love,
happen.
gotta love seeing the flailing sticks all over the place. That was pretty funny, that sort of puck battle along the boards. And as we say that, a great opportunity. And I think BG comes in to swipe that away. Goose looked like he was caught out a little bit there. Maybe lost track of the puck and where it was.
Yeah,
Oh,
BG
and
looked.
Goose makes a
Oh
lick
god,
on it. Oh,
BG looked confident in that breakup, and now they're going the other ways. Oh, Crab just pushes it a little bit too far, and he won't be able to collect that one. Uh, Down the ice for Omaha, as he's just gonna pick it up and see what he can make happen.
Yeah, sort of reset here.
Up the middle, as this is an apple for Tony Flo to step into, and he's gonna take a shot, but that one's off the glass. Now in the corner, able to spin and take a shot. Maybe his auto. He still has the puck as he's bringing it all the way back. Looks to find his line mate in Guy Lafleur, but he's just going to pick it up in the corner. Dukes out one, sends it across, but too tight on the goaltender, and he just makes a simple poke check. This one's going to go off the half board and up for Crab. He collects it. Now he's going to take a shot on, or sorry, off. Dick Dug. I went Dick Dug on you. Sorry, guys.
Some good backhand shots, though. I mean, they're coming in a little bit wide of the net, but still, you got to admire Crab and Omaha so far. Some really good backhand shots. A lot of those are opportunities where most players would sort of try to bring it back to their forehand and force the forehand shot rather than just take the backhand shot. And that's really something that you got to sort of work your way away from. You need to be confident in your backhand and be willing to take those opportunities. And the fact that they are willing and are confident to do that does say a lot about their mentality in this game, that they're not broken. They haven't lost their confidence yet, and they haven't lost their drive to win this game.
Omaha takes a shot off the backboard, and now Guy Lafleur sends it up to Otto. Otto tries to gather it in, but then so does the defenseman, and he gives it back. But was that BG stepping in? Omaha, bit of a handcuffing play, and BG makes sure to get that one deep. Now off the boards, battling here. And that one's turned over by Omaha. KS Otto ready to make something happen as he's just dangling on the blue line, keeps it on side, but Nate brings it out. So his team will have to tag out as they send it in deep on the delayed offside. I'm sorry.
Maybe one day we'll see that.
Off the stick of a Crab as he collects it. Now he's got one man to beat. He takes the shot and saved confidently by Kiwi.
Hell of a save there. That was going bar down, it looked like, and a great play by Crab stepping up there.
He threads it through two sticks trying to block it, but then a third one gets a piece of it. Now Omaha's going to have to make a defensive play on this as Otto and Guy Lafleur are trying to capitalize. Otto just absolutely walks him and gets around him to take the easy shot past
That
Goose.
is the Calgary we are used to seeing right there. They are clearly ready to pick up where they left off last game, and Otto looking like he's trying to be more of a factor in this win than he was in game one.
It seemed like Otto just found an extra gear there and just found speed when he was standing still and just got around him so easily. Now Crab looking to answer. He finds Drag on the cross, but stepping up there, was that Bertha or Tony who came up with the big aerial block to make sure that that 2-on-1 pass didn't get through.
What a great block by Crab.
We've seen a lot of good hand-eye shown, but now Guy or Tony will pick it up. Guy Lafleur provides interference as he's going to take a backhand, gets blocked there, and now you got Crab ready to counter. He's got a shot, but ends up passing it back to Drag or his defenseman BG. BG at the boards goes for a board bounce, which he might regret in about 2 seconds. But they're
Classic
able to
board
just
bounce.
Goose coming
Don't
out to
do
play
that
this
at home,
one.
kids.
Oh god. This one's going to be collected by either Tony or Bertha. It is Tony. Tony sends it up. Otto gets a piece of it, and they are just knifing at it at the half boards. Sent deep by BG, and that one's going to do it in for the first period. Not the first period that Chicago wanted, but it could have been a lot worse. Just one minor mistake cost them.
Definitely would have been nice to get a second game in a row where you're going up by a goal, but no redirection of a point shot here from Drag this time around, as they are unable to find really more than just the one shot on net from Crab that period.
Another face-off win for Guy Lafleur's. Otto's going to look to make this one 2-0, but he can't. Hits the glass in the corner, but Guy Lafleur will be there to collect it. Guy taking his time with it. He's going to take a forced backhand, but it goes just behind the net. He might actually get his own rebound here as he's just holding it at the boards, but BG's had enough. Or sorry, Omaha's had enough, so he sends it all the way down.
Great
And now it's in
job
the
by
neutral
Tony
zone.
there playing that at the point. That's a really hard puck to play. The puck is spinning and bouncing. You're playing from your backhand on the left side. Definitely a really difficult play to make. Understated how important that can be when it could very well be a turnover or a breakaway going the opposite direction, and he was able to confidently send that back in. Again, small play makes a big impact.
We have the puck skittering here back and forth between the glass. And this one will go all the way for Drag. Drag can't really do anything with it because it just goes out of reach. So Crab will be there. Crab also unable to do much. And now Calgary will be on the attack, sending it right up the middle. He's got one option, and it makes it almost through, but BG there ready to shut that down. BG rims it to his partner. Actually, it's going to go for Crab. Otto stepping in on him, looking to forecheck, sends it up to Tony, but Tony decides just to let it go deep so he can retrieve it and attack instead of trying to make something happen right away. Send around to Guy. Guy now hands it away, but his man is there to make sure that it's safe. Otto now hands it back to Tony. Just
Oh,
tangled back and forth right now, the puck between both teams. And that one's just going to go
oh,
right down the middle,
oh.
down Main Street. And the rebound spinning somehow. I think he had actually forced Goose to make a save there. And that one's
BG
going to
with a
also
great
go.
job getting in there too to make sure the guy wasn't going to get a clean opportunity away on that. That was a big play from him.
Finds
And as
himself
I
open.
say that,
Here's the rebound. The rebound
oh,
saved on his backhand, lying on his back. Goose gets there, unable to elevate. Was Guy, I believe.
wow. That was two excellent saves by Goose. One up front and personal right there, as I think it was Otto tried to bring it around in front, and then a second fantastic one as Goose is coming back into position, and it looked like it was Bertha. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there. I think it was Bertha. Tried to come in and put it in the empty net, and Goose completely denies him.
On the backhand, that is not an easy save, but they are fun. I'll say that much. Here is Drag spearing that one along down for Calgary to collect. Crab is actually going to give him a little bit of space on the forecheck and then step in. He gets his stick on it. Too high for Drag, but not too high for Otto as Otto's battling for it. But BG, again, ready to stifle that attack of Calgary. Here they are again. Tony's going to take it on his backhand instead and look to send this one right up the middle. Deflected again by Crab, who's getting his stick on everything. And now he's going to hammer one
Ooh.
on the net, but easily saved there by Kiwi as he just takes a swing at it. Omaha at the point. Blocked by Tony.
And that save by Goose earlier on, that is the type of play, and you can see here now they're generating offense from it. That's the type of play that reinvigorates you as a team, that gets you thinking we can win this game.
Here's
That's the
BG
type of
stepping
play
into
you
a
rally
shot.
around.
He scores!
Through the
Finds it on the
screen.
ice. Great
I don't think
pass
Kiwi
there.
could see that at all. I think somebody had a body in front of him. It might have been Crab or Drag. I can't tell as through all the bodies
There were
there
several
myself, but
players there.
yeah, there was definitely a screen there. And BG, not the best shot in the world, but it didn't matter. Kiwi not able to find that.
Ties up this game as now BG and Guy LaFleur are battling for it. Guy has Otto, but he just rolls it too far. Now BG passing it up along the boards, passing it again to Drag. Drag can't reach it, and so it's going to go deep.
Definitely the
Flo.
momentum shift. You can feel it now. The last
Absolutely.
minute and a half is really going the way of Chicago.
Omaha is kind of confused. He might be lagging again, and now it's going to go. You can tell everyone's lagging, even I'm lagging as a caster, and that one's going to be a goal. And I think, I mean, I feel like you have to call that back. That's so brutal, and you can see even Otto is just battling that puck.
Yeah. Funny that it's happened both times on auto breakaways.
Yeah, I mean, they become breakaways because of the lag. I mean,
Yeah.
Omaha easily would have been able to shut that one down, but he can't move.
Well, we'll see what the BOC decides to do about it. Again, same situation, right? We've got one team that's tied, right? The game is really close, and then Calgary able to come away with it during the lag fest and able to put the team back on top by one. And that's a backbreaker. I mean, we were just talking about it, right? The momentum, they're finally getting things going their way, and it looked like they were going to have another really great shot at possession in the zone. And then I saw Omaha turn away from the puck instead of keep it in, and that's when you start to realize, oh no, we got lag coming again.
And it's
And
the exact same time as last game, as these games are a mirror image. It was tied 1-1. You have the
yep,
lag late in the second period, and then they come out in the third and score 2 goals to make it 4-1. We might be seeing that again now. And I mean, this is really brutal for Chicago because it's clear that it's affecting them a lot more.
we'll see what happens here, but they've been here before. See how they respond this time.
Face off. Win for once by Chicago as Omaha, or was it BG, hammers that one down. Bertha skitters it along to Otto. Otto can't receive, but neither can Omaha, so BG will look to make something happen in his corner, taking his time with it, and then he sends it hard off the glass, received by Drag, but Drag takes a swing unexpectedly and loses it. But now Crab will look to step up where Drag could not, sends it back to Drag. Drag can't get around a great defense there by Bertha, I believe. Tony Flo now attacking. Sends it up, and a one-touch pass on. It's there, but
Oh,
can't just. I mean, really, you should take a shot there. You're so tangled with the defender.
yeah, definitely. It was a good job by Omaha, who really didn't have a whole lot of momentum at the time to put himself in the best possible position to really be a nuisance as much as possible to that Calgary forward, and that proved to be the difference as we're looking to end the period here 2-1.
Puck is rolling between multiple players, but we will do it in. And I mean, in reality, this should be a 1-1 game, but it's 2-1, and additional adversity that Chicago wasn't expecting going up against the best team in the league.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
think they
gotta
would have to.
feel for them. The unfortunate timing of it, both games too.
Yeah,
We'll see if
and
Calgary is able to build on their lead again like last time, make this a 2 or 3 goal game.
now collecting his puck, and he's going to take a circle around his face-off dot and send it all the way down. And this is actually a good chance, but unable to redirect that properly. He just kind of misfired on it, was Crab. But then he sends it back across for Omaha. He's got two guys in the
Oh,
shooting lane, and that one goes wide again. We've seen a couple wide shots, maybe a little bit too many from that right point. They do need a goal pretty badly at this point in the game. On the attack still is Chicago. Crab eating that puck up as it's a turnover for Calgary, and he sends it back across, but no one's really there except for Tony Flo.
he
Omaha's
was trying
pinching
to
in.
curl that back to Omaha, actually. It looked like he was trying to go way back across there. I don't think he was able to get enough of it. Tight spot to be in.
PG just punts this one down, hoping that Drag can get there. He is, but it's behind the net, so he won't be able to strike immediately, and bodied there by Tony, who's looked very good. Now Otto's in alone, but rolls off his stick, and BG will be there to
What
with
you'd
relief.
love to see from Drag there, something that Crab does really well in that position, one of the things I think he does exceptionally well, actually, is,
Oh,
oh, and that
just
is unfortunate, but
nubbed
now,
there by Goose, and that one's in the
yeah.
back of his net. He has
Going
played a
back to
stellar
the
game.
going back to the drag play though, you'd love to see him try to pass it short side. A lot of people wait too long and try to bring it all the way around the net and then center pass it. By that time, most of the defense has gotten in position. Nobody expects you to pass it short side before you go around behind the net. And if he had done that, he actually could have hit Crab in the slot there. And this might be a 2-2 game right now instead of the 3-1 deficit they're facing.
Tony again sends that one deep, and it's forced Goose to come out and play this, and he's kind of mishandled it. Now he's got a wrap attempt, and he's going to score. KS Auto now with the hat trick.
Goose with 2 misplays here on these last 2 goals that have unfortunately put them down, and now a 3-goal deficit. Definitely some consideration for one of those going back, and this really only being a 2-goal lead. So for Calgary, you want to approach it that way. Don't think you have 3 goals, sorry, to work with. Although
Wow,
now they do, as Guy makes an excellent reception off of a Bertha pass and puts it top shed.
that is a pure snipe. And it's what we talked about. I was going to say 4-1 because I said that before, but now it's actually 5-1, so I'm not right anymore. Drag here, galloping after this one, and he's going to send it sauce over to Omaha, but redirected, and they're not able to get control of that one. But almost tipped by Drag again. Now he's going to look to make something happen. You have to think he's frustrated right now as that puck just rolls away from him. Tangled our players, and Crab will be the one to come out on top as he sends it back down the middle of the ice where there are multiple skaters, including his teammate Drag, but not able to make anything happen. BG now sends it around to Omaha. Omaha's actually got a lot of space here between the F1 and the F2, but he mishandles the puck and he's forced to move it down, and Tony will pounce on that one. Otto now going to be between Goose and Otto. Goose having to come out again, which I don't think he's very comfortable doing right now, but it does a good enough job. Is now BG ready to try and make this scoreline look a little bit better. Sends it off. Crab trying to find the high tip, but can't swing that one home. Off the half board now, reversed by Crab. Drag, eyeing the something. I mean, you have to think he was looking to pass, but he never actually motioned his stick to do so. So now Drag again. He somehow still has it, and he's going to send it badly across to Crab, and Actually, was it? Yeah. Good enough.
Frustration definitely getting to these players. I mean, being in this situation, you really got to feel for the people on, or the players on Chicago. This is to an extent unfair to them, but it is hard to say that they've been the better team. I'm really not sure if you take away both those lag instances away. I'm really not sure that they find a way to come away with this, as Calgary has definitely performed better than them and looked better than them, looked more confident than them for basically the majority of both of these games.
Just absolutely rejected by Kiwi. He doesn't even want it near his net, so he sends it all the way down. Now, blasted around by BG. Crab tosses it across, and Omaha can't reach it. It's going to go down again as Crab has a tight F1, and he's actually going to give it away. Now they have possession. He's going to probably force a backhand shot as Otto is just absolutely having a hell of a time in the offensive zone, skating around Chicago players. Now Omaha with it, but he can't come up with it. Drag in a race against Bertha, and Bertha's going to win that one. Just hammers it down into the corner, and this one is just about wrapped up. Crab can't reach that one. BG can't reach that one either, as Guy Lafleur is going to curl that one down over the net. And frustrating night for Chicago. I can't say that they deserve to win, but they definitely deserve to have a better scoreline than they did in both
For
games.
sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is going to be a heartbreaking set of two games for a Chicago team that definitely came in thinking this was a beatable team. They had done it during the regular season. They knew how to do it. They still know how to do it. It's the same team. Nothing's different. But unfortunately, Calgary on their A game and Chicago just really not. Whether you chalk that up to the inconsistency of the lineup and the inability for them to put the same grouping out together for a lot of the regular season, not being able to sort of build a lot of that chemistry that some of the other teams like Calgary were able to do. Whatever the case is, they really just did not look up to the task, even though they showed flashes of being good enough to contend. They never really showed enough to push it over the edge and take the win home. So definitely disappointing, but there is definitely a chance for them to come back in this series. They're down 2-0, but that's not the end of the world. Game 3 looms huge on Tuesday. That'll be here with Para and Skis, I believe. It'll start at 7:30, and then the second game will be at 7:55. So hopefully Chicago comes out strong, is able to take that game and extend the series beyond just Tuesday. But we'll find out then. So thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Dalthan, for casting alongside, and best of luck to both teams the rest of the way.